Hey, what's up guys, it's Galaxy Tech Darklord here. Before I get into this week's deck profile, I just want to explain a couple of things. There was some confusion over the weekend on my Infernos video that I did a couple of weeks back, where I was accused of net decking and taking a build as my own. So I just want to clarify that, as it says on my about page now, on my YouTube channel, when I say my so-and-so build, I don't mean it's my idea, I mean that it's my take on the particular build. Because when you make a deck and submit it, people will come and explain or tell you what to put in and take out, and eventually you'll end up with what is essentially a net deck, the perfect type form of the deck archetype. So, when I say it's my build, I don't mean that I'm taking it as my own, I mean it's my take on the particular build. So, now that we've got that out of the way, I will get into the main deck. As you can see, it is a Evol build, not a Dino Rabbit build. I believe those to be a bit dead because they hit Rescue Rabbit a while back. So, I'll get right into this. It's very consistent, and it's because the format is now a bit slower. I think these are a bit better because these were always a bit slow. So, but they were, when they got stuff out, they were very good. So we start off with 3 copies of Evoltile Westlo. This is generally what you run. This is generally the best way to start off if you have it, because when you set it face down, it's got a strong, beefy defense of 1900, and then when it's flipped face up, as you can see in the effect here, when it's flipped, special summon 1 Evolsaur monster from your deck. So, the next Evoltile we run is 3 copies of Najasho. Some people run 2, I have no idea why, because the deck wouldn't really run very well without Evoltile Najasho. It has a nice beefy defense again, and it has an amazing effect when it's tributed for any use, and there's quite a few ways to tribute in this deck. You can special summon 1 Evolsaur monster from your deck. The main way is to use this in tandem with Evo-Force, and we'll get onto that when I get to the card. So, then we run 2 copies of Evoltile Odonto. Because Najasho and Westlo just special summon Evolsaurs from the deck, you have those sitting in your hand who can't activate their effects. So you normal summon this and special summon an Evolsaur from your hand. Then you are free to use things like Evo-Force to get Odonto out of trouble and get an Evolsaur out and go into an Xyz. So then we go into the Evolsaurs, which we start with 3 Diplo. Evolsaur Diplo is your back row hitter, and that is about it. It's a 1600 beta if your opponent runs a low attack deck as well, but nah, I don't think so, this format. So then we run 2 copies of Evolsaur Cerato. It's 3 is a bit cloggy, I find, because it doesn't have that much of a great effect. I mean, when it destroys things by battle, when it's summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, you can add in an Evoltile from your deck to your hand, and when he's summoned by an Evoltile monster, he gains 200 attack, which puts him up to 2100. But that aside, I don't think he's as great as some of the others. So, then we get into the last Evolsaurs of the deck, which are the Vulcano. With this, 3 is cloggy yet again, but when you have Evolsaurs in your graveyard and he's special summoned by the effect of an Evoltile monster, that's when you get an Evolsaur out of the graveyard and go into a rank 4. So then, now that the main part of the monsters are out the way, we have the more generic cards, so that's 3 copies of Hydrogeddon. This being more of a budget deck, I run this over Jurrac Guiber, and also although Jurrac Guiber has more attack, when it destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard. When you special summon the next one, that's it. You can't attack with it. With Hydrogeddon you can, and if he does destroy a monster by battle, then of course he's going to be able to special summon another one which can attack. Generally, it could be directly. So then we have, lastly for the monsters, one Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos. All of these are Fire type, apart from Hydrogeddon, which is Water type. But with this card, you can use it quite easily. It's a beta, and then it goes back to your hand off the next turn. This is where you would run Jurrac instead of this card, but instead of Hydrogeddon. But like I said, I don't have them. So that is it for the monster lineup. On to the spell cards. We have the main searcher of your deck, Evo-Diversity. You're mainly going to use this to add Evoltile monsters from your deck to your hand, because those are what you need. And then, although you can only activate once per turn, it's better than what I used to run when I first ran these back when Photon Shockwave came out, which was Fossil Dig. But then when this came out in Galactic Overlord, that changed a couple of things. So then we run 3 copies of Evo-Force. This is where you use it. You use this card in tandem with Evoltile Najasho, because it tributes a Evoltile monster and then special summons a Evolsaur monster from your deck and treats it as though it was special summoned by an Evoltile monster. And then Najasho's effect kicks in, which allows it to special summon another Evolsaur from your deck, which then goes into, you can go into an instant Evolsaur Laggia or any of your other monsters. So then we have the more generic cards, so 3 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 copies of Enemy Controller, another way of getting Najasho's effect to activate, 1 Book of Moon, and 1 copy of Dark Hull. Now finally, onto the traps. We have 1 copy of Evo-Instant. I do like to run this card because if you have, say, Evoltile Najasho and no Evo-Force, but you have this card, you can still use it and get something out like Cerato, whose effect doesn't matter too much. Then use your Najasho's effect to get out something like Volcano and get any monsters out the graveyard or something like that, something similar to those lines. So then we have 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 Mirror Force. That went wrong. 2 Mirror Force, 2 Fiendish Chain, 1 Solemn Warning, and 1 7 Tools of the Bandit. So, concluding the main deck, we now move on to the extra deck. We run 3 copies of Evolzar Laggia, and we then also run 2 copies of Evolsaur Diplo. So this is mainly what you're going to be going into is Laggia, because he has an awesome effect to negate things, but although that is the case, Dulka can be useful at times as well. So if you have something that will activate its effect when you attack it, you can use it. So Utopia, for example, although no one uses it, these 2 are mainly what the deck is about, what you're going to be going into. So then, just thought when this card came out, King of the Fair Olymps, I thought it would go well with Evolsaurs because it has the effect to add reptiles to your hand, which in my mind would work very well. I don't know. I'd advise running this card. So then we just have generic cards all the way back. So Gagaga Cowboy, Lavalval Chain, Maystroke, Photon Pappy Operative, and Steel Swarm Roach. So these are your generic rank 4s that you can go into. Advisably, although I don't have it, I'd say I'd run Abyss Dweller as well, because it just has a good effect. It's a bit expensive, so I don't have it, but above I would run it if you have it. Then for the rank 3 generics, we just have these three. If you want, I'd run Leviair as well, because you have Blaster in this deck, so you'd be banishing a couple of cards to use it. I think in this deck I'd mainly use it for its destruction effect, because you have a lot of fire types, and then you use something in tandem with Volcano to get whatever you discarded out of the graveyard. But yeah, so these are the last of the Xyz monsters. Just a quick run through of the side deck. I think in the side deck I haven't got, because it's not difficult to build one, I've just put what I thought is right to put in there. So your two effect Veilers, one Evolsaur Cerato, one Thunder King, and one Gauze. And then I don't advisably run Kaiser Colosseum, because this is a slow deck and it takes some time to get it up to speed, but I don't have them. So I'd run, if you have them, run them in this deck. That's the main thing. Then 3 copies of Threatening Roar and 1 Compulse to finish up the side deck. Right, that concludes the deck. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe.